Part of the process of making coffee is to take the parchment off after it's been dried down to about 12%. This is a cup of parchment coffee that I just took the parchment off 2 days ago with a machine called a Bacoba, which is a hand-cranked device that allows the parchment to be partially cracked off. It's not 100% successful, so I finish it off in a bucket with a weed whacker. This weed whacker is a dedicated weed whacker. I don't use it for anything other than just whacking the coffee, so people don't have to worry about it. You want to put the whacker in the bucket and a towel over it, which is very important. I pulse it about 10 or 12 times. Occasionally I forget to put the towel on and I get to take 52 pickup, but so then the next step is to use a leaf blower. I'll hit it just one more time. Now the reason I pulse it is because it tends to put less plastic line into the mix, which means you have less picking out to do because you don't want to be roasting in a piece of line trimmer line. So this is pretty effective. It gets off most of the chaff. The few extra beans I just pick out and throw in the next batch to have the chaff taken off. So, and this is then coffee that I sort through, look at every bean, which I will show you shortly. This is my roasting station. I started with a used Beemore 1600. It was affordable. And I liked it so much I bought a second one because there's a 13-minute cooling cycle that's built into the coffee if you roast a pound. So that basically takes up some time. The other thing is that you need to incorporate in the roasting process what they call a rheostat, which allows you to control the voltage at a constant 120 degrees. Basically all there is to it, and the improved model, the Plus, allows you to completely control the roast compared to 5 set presets that they had earlier, which you do have an option to use. Basically you can roast 3 different types or levels of roast, or 1/4, 1/2 pound in terms of the weight, and then there are different programs that are pre-assigned for Hawaiian soft bean or espresso, for instance. But I'm roasting a pound of what they call red Katuai, which are these cherries. These were picked a day or so ago. Normally you should pulp them within 9 hours of picking, according to the Big Book of Coffee. But you place the beans in the oven, put the chaff tray in, which catches a lot of the loose material that the silver skin in particular that comes off the beans in the process of roasting. And all there is to it is press the 1 pound rate, the start button, the P5 for 100% roast, and because I'm doing a medium roast or a light roast in this case, I press D for drum, which speeds the drum up to twice the turn rate, which will give you a faster roast and leave a little bit of the acidity in there that you might want to have in that kind of roast level. Then after this is done, well, it's a slightly involved process in terms of monitoring the temperature, which it gives you the choice of 2 different temperature readings. One of them comes up about halfway through the roast process. It gives you the ability to add roast time. For 1 pound, it gives you 18 minutes to start. You can add another 2.5 minutes to begin with. I put it on P5, so I have 100% temperature, and then I monitor the temperature throughout the roast process. You don't want, in this case, in my machines, to exceed 324 on a 68 degree temperature day because it's going to exceed the heat controls of the unit and it will go into an error mode and shut down. So I always am careful not to let the temperature rise above 324. But basically I program it for a light curve upwards from start so that it does a long, slow roast process, because I've discovered that in one of the roast magazines it discussed roasting and said that the longer you can prolong the roast period, you get a more body to the coffee. Okay, there's the first crack. So when you hear first crack, you push C for crack, and then they give it what they call the Rosetta Stone. Based on the size and the amount of time you've had programmed to it previously, it figures you need 3 minutes and 10 seconds to take it from first crack to second crack. and maybe 10 seconds beyond. So you can hear the first crack, which is, I believe, the release of, is it water vapor?
Yep.
And then the second crack, which is about what you want to take it to for a city. Maybe 10 seconds after, you'd get a full city, which is a fairly dark roast. And then, or in my case, I can actually take this to a Viennese if I want to, where the beans are coming out of machine oiling.